You know, I've been doing a lot of article debunks and bad fan theory debunks for a very, very long time. Because I feel like if you're going to be doing an article or a fan theory, you should put some thought into it and not just spew out whatever you come up with. But very rarely have I ever experienced anything like this. I've very rarely been so flabbergasted and so at a loss for words right now. Very rarely, because y'all know I've been here for 5 years and I have not stopped talking. You know, it's funny because when Dragon Ball Super ended, a lot of trolls said that myself and other YouTubers were going to be out of content, that the content well has run dry. And it's been about 2.5 years since then, and we're still producing, myself and a few others, still producing consistent content about Dragon Ball, not even about the manga, that's just part of it, about Dragon Ball every single month, multiple videos. But I can confidently say, in my heart of hearts, that ScreenRant may have completely tapped out that well. You see, you never run out of content if you're creative. If you're a creative person, that's why we're called creators. But ScreenRant has never been creative. And they've done a lot of things that I consider to be complete fecal matter, but this right here takes the cake. Now, I want to preface this by saying something about bad fan theories. A lot of the times, my issue with bad fan theories is that they're not very well thought out, and that a lot of them usually are because a fan who comes up with a theory forgets a specific detail, or there could be a misunderstanding of a certain thematic element in Dragon Ball, or possibly a mistranslation, which leads to a fan theory that is, not very well thought out. They don't actually think before they speak, or at least type out their fan theory. But this right here, this is something else. So the article says Dragon Ball, Goten is Goku's reincarnation theory explained, right? Written by Craig Elvey. Now I'm recording this video on July 5th. It's going to go up after July 5th because I have other videos in the docket. But in this article, Mr. Craig Elvey explains a fan theory. Now, I don't know if he came up with it or somebody else came up with it. I don't remember him crediting anybody for coming up with it. That Goten is not Goku's second son, but actually the reincarnation of Goku, right? And he goes on to explain, he introduces the article here about Goku saving the Earth by teleporting Cell away from the planet and sacrificing his life. And then he talks about how, okay, sorry about that. I had to cough, and it was a really bad cough, and that's why I stopped recording, but I'm back here. So as I was saying, in the article, he discusses that Goten was conceived during the run-up to the Cell Games when Goku and Gohan were relaxing after the Hyperbolic Time Chamber training. And that is actually incorrect. I've already debunked that. A lot of fans get that wrong. Goten was not conceived based on when he was born, the actual date of his birth. Gohan could not have been conceived during the 10 days before the Cell Games. Even Team 4-Star got that one wrong. Goten was conceived prior to the androids showing up, like shortly before. You have to remember that the Cell Saga before the Cell Games is only like a couple of days. But I did a whole video about that, which I will link at the end of this one, where I show absolute proof that Goten was not conceived during that time. That being said, he already got that wrong, but it doesn't matter. The story is that he talks about how Goten was conceived prior to Goku dying, and that Goku came back in the Buu arc to go see Goten for the first time. So he says here, a fascinating theory, that's not the word I would use. I can't say the word I would use because I might get in trouble. Suggests that Goten isn't strictly Goku's son, but rather his reincarnation. And he talks about the timing of Goten's birth in relation to Goku's death. So basically they're saying that because Goten was born after Goku died, this somehow means that Goku somehow was reincarnated into Goten. Now, there's a couple of problems with this. And many of you out there right now know what these problems are. Number one, and I'm going to go on to read what he talks about his reasoning behind it. Number one, the way reincarnation works in Dragon Ball, it's only been done 2 times, with Piccolo and with Kid Buu, is that you don't have a child through reincarnation. Piccolo birthed an egg that became his son, but also his reincarnation, right? That's not really the traditional way of having a child, right? We know, the birds and the bees, right? Kid Buu was killed, and then Goku asked King Yama to resurrect him as a good guy, and then he became Oob. But not resurrect, reincarnate. You see, Oob has no memory of being Majin Buu, based on the Dragon Ball manga and, DBZ the anime. He doesn't know that he's Majin Buu, right? Throughout most of his life. He's a reincarnation, a literal reincarnation, and this guy actually points that out. So, sit down for this one. He says that the reason why there is validity to this fan theory is because Goten looks too much like Goku. And because of the fact that Goten was born after Goku died. So, his logic here, ladies and gentlemen, is that because a son looks like his father, and because the son, even though we know he was conceived prior to the death of his father, when the sperm hits the egg, the child begins to grow. That's what we learned in biology when we were freaking children, or at least teenagers, right? Because of that, it somehow means that Goten's a reincarnation of Goku, even though Goku has a spiritual body, even though Goku appears and meets Goten for the first time, even though they reunite, or not reunite, Goku first meets him during the World Tournament, in the Buu Saga, right? The early Buu Saga. Even though they have completely different personalities. This guy is saying that the reason as to why Goten is a reincarnation of Goku is because he looks like him and was born after. Somebody really needs... Now, look, I don't want to insult this guy, but this guy really needs to go back to science class and really needs to understand how mating actually works in the real world. Because by that logic, if we look too much like our parents, we're their reincarnation. Even though at one point Goku comes back to life and exists separate from Goten. I'm just flabbergasted. Like, I'm literally flabbergasted that somebody wrote this article and decided it was a good idea to post this article. And let me read the last paragraph for you guys. He writes, as Dragon Ball theories go, it's very unlikely that Toriyama truly intended Goten to be the reincarnation of Goku. Very unlikely. He used the word very unlikely. And there's certainly nothing in the anime or manga that comes close to confirming this. So, and that's my ultimate problem with fan theories, is that if your fan theory has nothing to back it up whatsoever in the anime or manga, nothing, not even a remote slight clue, why would you even come up with it? It's not fan theory, it's fan fiction if you do that. And then he says, nevertheless, the possibility is a fun one to consider. The timing of Goten's birth feels highly coincidental, and the child looks more like his father than Gohan ever did. And then he goes on to make fun of, and then he goes on to write, Goku's ignorant enough about the ins and outs of reproduction to not ask any questions. The fact that this man referred to Goku as ignorant, I highly doubt that this guy, what's his name? Craig Elvey. I highly doubt this man's ever had sex. I'm not trying to diss him, but you are insulting a fictional character's prowess sexually when your theory is that because a child looks like his father, Because had you gone to school and learned about turbonucleic acid and how it works, that because a child is born after the death of his father, despite being conceived prior to the death, despite it taking 9 months for a woman to incubate. So, just so you guys know, if you hook up with a girl and you knock her up and you die during the 9 months she's pregnant, you might get reincarnated as your son. That's what this guy's basically saying. And in the Dragon Ball world, he's saying that. I have never been this utterly shocked. And I know what some of you are going to say, oh, it's ScreenRant. ScreenRant has done a lot of stupid stuff. They even have an article here, Star Wars, Why Anakin's Eyes Turn Yellow in Revenge of the Sith, which is like the most obvious thing. What's the next article going to be, bro? What is it going to be, bro? Why humans wear clothes in Dragon Ball? Why Goku eats food? Like, is that what it's come down to? I've always hated ScreenRant. Always, always. They are the embodiment of a website that cares nothing about what they cover. They're just in it for ad clicks. At the very least, YouTubers like myself and others who cover Dragon Ball and we make money on it, it's our full-time gig, we at least care about this franchise. We care about you guys. We care about the characters and we care about talking about it because it's fun for us. It's not just a money grab. I didn't even make money for the first year I was doing YouTube. I did not make a cent for the first 9 months I did YouTube. 10 months. 10 months I did YouTube. I did not make any money. And this guy writes an article saying that he thinks that Goten is a reincarnation of Goku, admitting at the end of the article, because if you're a sucker, you read it, because he looks like his father. So that means... Look, I can't talk about this anymore. I'm floored, and this is the kind of shit that is just like, I have no words anymore. Thank you for watching. I hope I entertained you. I'm floored that it's gotten this bad. I love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other, and remember, if you get a girl pregnant and you die during the pregnancy, you might come back to life if your son looks just like you in his body. Even though in Dragon Ball, they both existed when Goku got resurrected back. That's not how reincarnations work, bro. Have a nice day.